Hello, we're going to talk today about Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. He lived from 1807 to 1882 in the United States. He wrote at the same time as poets like Walt Whitman, whom everyone knows well now because, in a way, Longfellow got overshadowed by poets like Whitman. Um, So one of the reasons that people were critical of Longfellow after he died was that he wrote poetry that um, employed traditional forms from Europe and other countries. And he also wrote poetry to teach, and we call that didactic. And many people were critical of that. As we moved into the 20th century, we moved away from poetry and literature that was specifically designed to teach. However, Longfellow has some value to us. He was a romantic poet, even though he was not as innovative as people like Whitman and Melville and Hawthorne. His reason for sticking with traditional forms is that he felt that we should emphasize what is universal in human experience over nationalistic identity. So one reason we had innovators in the United States is that they were trying to establish an American literature that didn't echo the literatures of Europe because we had broken away from Europe. So Whitman is kind of our poster child for that. He's become sort of the all-American poet of the 19th century in particular. But Longfellow had some beautiful poems that are still being circulated today, and there are critics now that are looking back at him who think he's actually more important than we've given him credit for over the last few decades. So regarding the poem that you read, Nature, let's note that it's a lyric poem, which means it is musical. It's not a story. It's not an epic or something like that. It's meant to be kind of short and deliver a kind of succinct message. It's also a sonnet, which means it has 14 lines, uses iambic pentameter, which is a rhythm that sounds like this: da 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 da. That's 5 iambs. Pentameter means 5, penta, right? And the iambs are da-da. They're a 2-syllable foot, and there are 5 of them. And the emphasis is on the second syllable in that form. And in this sonnet, we have a regular rhyme scheme too. The first line rhymes with the fourth line, and in between, in lines 2 and 3, those 2 lines rhyme. So the way we do that is we say A, B, B, A. We're assigning a letter to the sound that each of these make, and those are the repeating ones. A, B, B, A. Next stanza is A, B, B, A. The next one is C, D, E, and the last one is C, D, E. And that's how you scan a poem, right? So he used it in its traditional way to set up a conflict and then bring that conflict to resolution in the last 2 lines. And the analogy that he uses is that we are children when we're alive, and that when it's time to go to bed, that our mother, nature, takes us by the hand and leads us there. And even though we want to be back playing with our toys, nature knows best and understands that it's time for us to lay down for the night. So this ending sort of leaves us feeling a little bit better about death, right? If it's our mother putting us to bed, then we know that our mother wouldn't lead us somewhere where we shouldn't be going, so that we can maybe stop being afraid of being past this life and not having our toys with us. So I'm going to read just a little bit of this poem so you can hear the sound of the iambic pentameter. As a fond mother, when the day is o'er, leads by the hand her little child to bed, half willing, half reluctant to be led, and leave his broken playthings on the floor, still gazing at them through the open door, nor wholly reassured and comforted by promises of others in their stead, which, though more splendid, may not please him more. So nature deals with us and takes away our playthings one by one, and by the hand leads us to rest so gently that we go, scarce knowing if we wish to go or stay, being too full of sleep to understand how far the unknown transcends the what we know. So even though he was writing in the 19th century, Longfellow had some insights that we all think about and wonder about. He tries to provide maybe a perspective on death that helps us process the idea. And we will talk about others who come at this from a different perspective.